Hello guys, let's put our mouth where football is. Talk about football, the games of the weekend, everything. The big one just ended right now. Manchester hosting Liverpool at the famous Old Trafford. Always one of the biggest games in the English Premier League. And it's supposed to be a rivalry. It's supposed to give you action back to back from both sides, like a real rivalry is supposed to be. At least that's what it used to be, but not now. Manchester United are lagging behind, not really offering the tempo that such a game of that caliber needs. So Manchester has not given us what we were looking forward to. I'm kind of disappointed. It's a game that is underwhelming on Manchester United side, but well played by Liverpool. Liverpool came knowing what they want. The Reds were blazing. They came in their rivals Old Trafford and they owned it. They owned Old Trafford like it's Anfield. Strange that Liverpool section of the fans there on their stand, they were the loudest singing. Yeah, they came. You never walk alone, and they came to Old Trafford, and then they just kept on walking past Manchester United, coming to their yard and doing all that. Manchester has a problem. Manchester United has a problem, but they keep carrying out themselves as if they are cool, as if the problem is so small, they've got everything covered, as if it's just a small passing win. But it's been lots of years now. It's almost clocking 10 years, almost 10 years since the last Premier League. And then life after Ferguson has been up and down with a lot of waves. These waves have been too much for the club. A club that is going through transition from the Glazers to now Ineos guy, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So probably you will say that management and change of leadership is affecting them, but that's not. And ideally, we will cite Manchester's problem to be that, but that is not the case. The problem with Manchester United is acting big when they are small right now. The problem with Manchester United is using history, a long gone past, to live in a presence of limitations and dismal performance. Manchester United are carrying themselves as if there is no problem, yet there is a deep underlying problem. You look at or you listen to Eric Ten Hag, the way he talks. This guy literally always downplays Manchester United problem. He sees his small little wins, the small trophies, and he celebrates those as success for a club that is that big. Winning the Carabao Cup or winning the FA Cup or winning the Community Shield should not be things that the manager is bragging about. The players, they are coming into a culture, into a club whose culture they knew. Some of these guys now playing for United were not born when the club was massive, or even they were very young, they were small kids, they didn't know what really it meant. And so when they come, they kind of they come and find Manchester United in disarray, and there is no impetus in them to do beyond, because they have grown seeing indolent players, lazy players coming in and getting away with their laziness. So these new guys like Kobe Mino, they like Ahmad, like Garnacho, like Marcus Rashford, they literally have got no influence, people to look up to in that club, because everyone who is in that club right now is not giving an A game. So Manchester United have a problem. They just need to realize that there is a difference between now and their past, and then start fixing it. Changing leadership, bringing Ineos guy with Sir James Ratcliffe may not be a solution, because people thought the Glazers were the problem. Now the Glazers are gone, but if this mediocrity is still there, then where is the problem? The problem is in the club. The club right now is supported and reinforced by what I would call pride. If not pride, but it's got to be some hubris from the past. Manchester United needs to realize that they are a small club in the moment. Aston Villa used to be a big club. They have Champions League behind with them. But now they are back. I think they're doing good and better than even Manchester United. But Nottingham Forest was a big club back so many years, even before we were born. Was a big club. They have, I think, 2 Champions League in their crest with them. So this is what happens to clubs. This is what happened to big clubs. Look at Barcelona right now. Someday a club has to go down, but to come back really needs some seriousness, you need some awareness in the way forward and how to chart to that way in awareness of what you are in the present. Manchester must accept their limitations. They are not going anywhere. It's like addiction, like if you're an addict, you cannot be helped if you want to overcome addiction, if you cannot admit that you are an addict. It's always said that the first stage of overcoming addiction is that acceptance. It's a form of introspection. You look at yourself and you assess yourself, and then once you've done that, then you become aware of your own limitations and imperfections, and then you work on them. You begin working on them procedurally. That is what is needed at Manchester United. Their fans carry themselves like they're the biggest club in the world. They used to be the biggest club in the world, but now that children being born now, literally, you won't tell children that were born in 2010 to assert whether Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. Not alone in the city of Manchester, for instance. These kids, most of them will tell you that Manchester City is the biggest because they are growing seeing Manchester City towering above Manchester United. So the fans need to accept the board, James Ratcliffe as the owner, the majority stake owner, and his board. They need to accept. They need what looks like a process that Arsenal followed. Hate to say it, but Manchester need to emulate Arsenal right now. For so many years, Arsenal were in the trenches, over 20 years. But when Mikel Arteta came, I think in 2019, together with the Kroenkes, they sat down. I think they devised a plan and they accepted who they were, and they knew they have massive challenges ahead of them, and then they process by process, step by step, they started working on it. And today Arsenal is the second biggest club in England. For 2 seasons in a row they've been challenging Manchester City, and then they are back from 20 years of mediocrity. Manchester United is almost hitting 10 years. If they're not careful, it will be the next 20 years before they finally know that they have a problem and be willing to fix it. But they're not going to fix it by pretending to be who they are not. They are not Real Madrid. They are not the biggest club in the world. It's interesting because right now the biggest traditional big clubs in the world are facing a crisis. So again, we will be fair to Manchester United. Bayern, I live in Germany here, and Bayern is going through a lot of problem management-wise and pitch-wise in Bundesliga. The Milan Giants fell. Inter has been trying. They've been trying, but the glory is gone. It's not like so many years ago. Barcelona is crumbling. and now it's Manchester United. It's been Manchester United. So Manchester United must accept who they are, that they are not big. They are just an upgraded Bournemouth with a budget, respect to Bournemouth anyway, or a middle. I don't even think they're a middle table EPL club with the kind of football they are playing, the kind of mentality they are playing. Manchester United is way in the second part of the table, second half of the table, and they need to accept that and then begin building from that, because right now top six is very, very competitive. Newcastle, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, Brighton, they are all coming for this, including even Chelsea. They are all coming for these spaces. And trust me or believe me, these are teams that are way better than Manchester United. You're not telling me that Manchester United is going to leapfrog these clubs without fixing their mess. It's not going to happen. So come on, Manchester United, come on, accept who you are, work on it before some sorts of embarrassment is prolonged. Yeah, I gotta say that.